Good morning. It is November the 24th, early morning, 2022. It is Thanksgiving Day, or early Thanksgiving morning in the United States. Thanksgiving is not just celebrated by the U.S. I think a lot of people get this myth that it's a holiday within the United States, and while it does date back to more, it's truthfully, it's more of a strictly speaking a Yankee holiday, right? It was started up in New England by the Puritans, right? So it took a lot longer for the rest of the nation to celebrate what was looked at as you know, a Puritan Yankee institution, right? But it's universally celebrated in the United States now. But there's other countries that celebrate it. Canada, which celebrates it in October. Get it all wrong and celebrate in October. And so does, as does Grenada and St. Lucia. And then we still have Liberia, who celebrates it in November. So, yeah, I think it's a good time to realize dating you back to a festival of harvest and a festival of hunting, if you will. Just so I think we lose so much of our connection to the roots and to agricultural things that we don't things that were once natural no longer natural to us, right? So I think it's good to look back on things like that. But anyway, being besides the point, today we are looking at my newest game, Return Address Cat Low. You see down here it says a Vietnam letter game by Brent Campbell. Okay, what's a Vietnam letter game? Well, let's read the back blurb and you'll understand. This is a book of interactive fiction. You are a lieutenant junior grade and officer in charge of PFC 62 based out of Cat Low Naval Base in Vietnam. Your lifeline to the real world are letters and packages you receive from home as well. And more importantly, for the purpose of this game, letters you send back home to your loved ones. Can your letters get you home? Can your letters get home? Will you be via promotion, or will it be a letter of condolence to loved ones stateside? Find out inside. So, yeah, it sounds a little odd, but while I was, just to give you the history of why I made this game, while I was making this one, Mr. Adam Mitchell came out with Fleming, and I played Fleming, and I played it, wow, played it a bunch of times, and every time I played this game, it was a journaling game where you're playing. It's a World War II operative game, right? You're playing an operative based in Germany, in Berlin in World War II. And every time I was trying to complete my mission here, I would turn into just a madman, and I would quit. I would just wanted to complete my mission, and it didn't matter what I was doing. I was wanting to complete it. And it was the best kind of role playing experience that I'd ever had. And it's a journaling game. It's a writing game, right? It was really the best, like I said, the role playing experience I ever had. So I wanted to do a writing game as a mini game in this one. I wanted to do and I wanted to be letters home, writing letters home, and I just couldn't make it work within the spaces of this book. I just couldn't. No matter what I did, it was too much. It wasn't easy enough, and the mini game just never did take shape. And so, talking to Adam Mitchell about it, he said, "Well, why don't you make it a tie-in game?" And so that's exactly what I did. So you're technically playing your character from this game in this game, and this is taking place simultaneously with this. This would be in your downtime, if you will. It's what you would be doing. You don't need this. You don't need this one to play this one. It's a complete game on its own. I think that it would just put you in the right mindset, if you will, if you're playing this, and who your character is, flesh out who your character is. But what you're doing is you're playing a officer in charge of a PFC in Vietnam, and so you're going to be tasked with writing letters. What does that look like, right? It's going to be the situation, rules to play, cat low, and the sequence of play. What that looks like, let's look at a sequence of play, and we'll talk about it. Determine what style you will use in your writing your letter, typed lettering or handwriting. What that is, before you even do anything, you're going to determine, hey, what am I going to use for this, right? And it's going to help with scoring. Yes, I know. In reality, you may not be able to use three types. So you might be on board just when you're writing this letter, so you can't use a typewriter. But it's just a mechanic to make it a game. You have to do something to make it a game. You roll to see which letter number you are writing. You're going to be, what is that now? Your first letter is going to be numbered as number 1, and then you're going to roll a d6 each time after that. You're just going to need one d6 for this game each time after that. And so when you until you get to, I believe, is it 24? Once you get to 24, so you say 1. Well, after you get done with that, the second letter you're going to write, you're going to roll a d6 and say it's a 6. You're going to add that 1, that's 7, right? That's going to be number 7. You're going to keep doing that, and it's going to become accumulative until you get to your last letter, which will be 24. The number 24 or higher, that's going to be your last one that you're going to write. And then it's going to roll a d6 on the letter table to see who you will be writing. You could either be writing Naval High Command, your family, or another sailor's family. Okay, so truth of the matter is, you're going to roll on your letter table. If you roll a 1 or 2, you're going to be writing Navy High Command, right? 3 or 4, you're going to be writing to another sailor, a sailor under your command's family. Or if you roll a 5 or a 6, you're going to be writing a personal letter home to your family, right? And then, once you've determined who you'll be writing, once you determine who you'll be writing, you need to roll on the specific table to find out what you will be writing about. You will either roll on the Navy High Command table, the Sailor's Family table, or on your family table. And all that is you're going to roll. If you roll on a family table, it's either going to be a wife, mother, a girlfriend, or father. So, and if you roll on If you roll Navy High Command, you're going to have to be either roll 1 or on the next roll of a 1 or 2. You have been a witness to war crimes and you are reporting it. 3 or 4, you are writing about your CO. You believe he is unfair and unfit for command. And number 5 or 6, you are writing to recommend someone for a commendation/promotion. All right, it's going to be the Navy High Command. Or if you roll a family. If you roll to another sailor's family, you're going to go ahead and roll, you're going to roll on the family table. And so on 1 or 2, it's going to be a wife, girlfriend. 3 or 4, it's going to be a mother. 5 or 6, it's going to be a father. And so, furthermore, if it's another sailor, you're going to roll for what you're writing about. 1 or 2, the sailor was killed in action. 3 or 4, the sailor has been arrested, give date, and will have an upcoming trial. And 5 or 6, the sailor is alive but seriously wounded, and he probably will be coming home, something like that, right? But your family, you have been wounded. It's 1 through 6 there. It's a little bit more. You've been wounded, but you will be returning to action. KIA of a sailor under your command, on fighting and killing. Drug use among servicemen in Vietnam, on people, places of Vietnam, or 6, on the morale of the sailors in Vietnam, right? You're obviously not going to write your death because that would be somebody else doing so. Furthermore, You got a preferred, okay. Hope that fleshes it out a little bit. It'll tell you step 1, step 2, step 3, right? I was 4, 5. Now you write the letter using all the game rules and DRMs. Everything's going to become a die roll modifier, okay? All that stuff, who you're going to be writing, what style of writing you've used, all those are die roll modifiers. And then at the end, you're going to score your letter and keep a running tally of your score. Scores come in because also at the very, very beginning, you're going to pick what kind of leader you are. Maybe you are, and this is for you to decide what kind of leader you are. And where is it at? And that's going to go place through the entire game. You can be an inspirational leader, a by the book leader, an emotional leader. Okay, that's one die roll for all flow charts on the inspirational. One die roll modifier +1 in all cosmetic checks, and an emotional leader +1 in all feeling checks. So you're going to do this, and you've got some different rules to write. You've got some different words you can use that you can roll to see if you can use preferred word list. And then you're going to try to get through your letter and try to get through your game. And the point of it is, at the end, is to score as many points as possible, right? In game. These are some of your points, some of the possible points, and what you can possibly get, and what you're not going to get, right? To see how it turned out. So that's the letter writing game. Very odd, I know. It's an odd type of a game, but let me say this: it is, I think, a very big part of a serviceman or woman's life. That when we used to write letters home, we used to write them all the time. That's something that's going by the wayside. It's not as big as it was. Although receiving packages from home, care packages, that's never going to go away, unless we come up with replicators or something like that. So it was your lifeline, not only in Vietnam, but in Civil War, a Revolutionary War, or whatever. If you read some of those letters from that time, some of the letters from, wasn't that some of the letters George Washington wrote, Martha Washington didn't, who was it that bought them? Was that, anyways, some of them were destroyed for being kind of dirty, right? They didn't think that the father of our country ought to, I guess, be human. I don't know. But, yeah, so it's a big part of it was, and to some extent still can be a big part of a service person's life. And so it was a connection. It's who you wrote. It's what you did. It's also a big part of what you would do. A lot of officers did have to write home for bad news for another serviceman's family, right? So I wanted to pick that up and try to depict it in a way that made sense. And letter writing made sense to me a lot, as far as writing home and writing different people, and even writing Navy High Command. There's not a lot of DRMs here. There's not a lot when you're writing Navy High Command, because like I put in here, they're like robots. They don't care about feeling. They don't care about that. But like if you write to a mother or girlfriend, if you use handwriting, cursive, they appreciate that more. Lettering without handwriting, the idea that's appreciated, especially by it's appreciated you handwritten, but the lettering part of it, the legibility part of it, is more often than not accepted by some people more than others. And then, of course, the being typed or hand lettering will be more acceptable to the Navy High Command, right? Because it's just utilitarian. So that's some of the things I put in here, and it was just to do that, to try to simulate the serviceman's letter writing experience in a combat zone. Now, whether I did that or not, I don't know. Again, it's a game, so I had to put rules, because otherwise, if you don't put some rules in there and make it fun, all you're doing is doing an activity, and that's not what I was going for. I was going for a game. So that's that. outside of that, let me say, yeah, it's odd. And this is going to be a quick review portion. Yes, first and foremost, it's my game. I wrote it. I cannot be unbiased at all. I just can't. When it's your own thing, you can't be unbiased. But I can say this. I can tell you a quick overview of why you should get it or why you should not get it. First of all, it's I paid for this as well. It's paid for this full price because I do that with any game I feature on my channel. Just to know that I'm not doing anything underhanded, I pay for them all. Who's it for? Well, it's for anybody who wants to look deeper into the idea of letter writing and being a U.S. Marine or a Navy man, a sailor, or a soldier who is deployed and writing letters. It's for someone that wants to understand a little bit of that, what that's like. It's also written for people who may not understand modern letter writing and how the importance it played and has played in the past. That can be for that. It also can be used for a good tool to teach people about letter writing as well, an easy way. Outside of that, who's it for? Well, it's not for everybody. It's just not. This is just one of those things. It's just, I think it's a very specific group of people that may want to play it. And, but it's not for everybody. It would be people who like writing letters, like learning about writing letters, or like totally odd games, or to like seeing parts of war that are simulated that we usually don't think about, that are usually so abstracted out that you don't even know exist if you play a regular war game. That's who this is for. Again, not for everybody, but the people who like this kind of stuff, this is the kind of stuff those people like. Right? So that's it. That's all I got for you. I've went too long. Again, it's on Amazon, a return address Cat Low Vietnam letter writing game, and you can find it for $6.50. It's beautiful. We got colors in here. I got it. Makes it a little bit easier. Beautiful game. Very proud of it. Again, as I am all my works. It's got its usual problems, but I think you should get it and have fun with it. If for nothing else, just to have a weird, odd game on your shelf. All right. That's all I got for you. Y'all have a great day. Thank you for any support. Or if you want my other book, get this one. You can get off there. Or if you want Fleming. I wish more people would look at Fleming too. This is an extremely fun game that inspired this one. So, all right, folks. I will talk to you soon. Everybody have a great day. Be safe. Bye-bye.